Good morning, I'm Travis Chase with a rebroadcast edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what's happening. More revelations have been made during that alleged plot to take out the president. 2 detectives took the stand on Friday. Several lapses on the part of the police came to light. The Commission of Inquiry probing the alleged assassination plot against President David Granger heard today of several lapses by police at CID during their investigation. Detective Sergeant Pramal Pratamba was called to the witness stand. He told the Commission of Inquiry that when the matter was reported to CID Vlery, he received instructions from his superior to arrest the alleged mastermind and carry out a search at the man's home. Pratamba said he did not obtain a search warrant because it would have taken too long.
No, sir.
Why not?
I did not obtain a search warrant.
No, you're saying that this is a serious report made to you. That this man get a land one, right? And he took this land one to this man and he claimed that the man is claiming that he wanted to use that gun to assassinate the president. Did you not see it fit to obtain a search warrant when you go into this man's place?
I would have obtained one if he had denied the police a search.
I don't understand that. You left CID headquarters with the intention of investigating this matter. You can't know whether this man can permit you to search or not.
The commission also heard that the accused might not have been arrested in the true context of the word, since the accused, when told by officers of the allegation at his home, personally drove his vehicle to CID.
You are investigating a major crime. You arrested a man by the name of Nizam Khan, and you will know if Nizam Khan drive this vehicle from Grove to CID headquarters? What nonsense, man?
That's what I can't recall if he or doing a right drive.
Would it have been, let me put it this way then, let me help you out. Would it have been normal for a man arrested in connection with such a serious offense to be allowed to drive this vehicle from the place of arrest to the police station?
No, sir.
Is that normal?
No, sir.
All right. So therefore, if the evidence showed that he did that, that was something really abnormal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just say that normal, if it's normal, it's not normal.
Then Detective Jermaine Laundry took the stand. He recounted exactly what the accuser had told Nightly News, that when the alleged mastermind was taken to CID, he behaved in a disorderly manner, and his weapon was seized and given back to him within minutes.
How long after this firearm was lodged? Because when you said pass through, are you using the correct term lodge? Was it uplifted? Because the property people get lodging and they get uplifted.
Not long after, sir.
But I said not long, in terms of time.
5 to 10 minutes.
Or 5 to 10 minutes after this firearm was lodged because of this check, the firearm was uplifted by who? The same man Khan? Imran Khan?
Yes, sir.
On whose instructions?
The Inspector Narayan would have told me to do that.
Told you to give him the one.
Yes, sir.
So he told you to lodge it?
Yes, sir, let him he signed for it.
And then the man signed lodging. You signed
no, you have
lodging?
signed lodging, you just have to sign uplift.
No, man, you got to sign lodging too. Jailbreak property book money.
I see a column for that.
What?
Crime Chief Wendell Branham and Assistant Police Commissioner Operations Clifton Hicken will take the stand on Monday. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The police have issued a wanted bulletin for this man, 18-year-old Marlon Jeffrey, also known as Melver Jeffrey and Buck. He is wanted for escaping from lawful custody from the Georgetown Public Hospital last Wednesday. The police say he was initially held for possession of firearm and ammunition and 2 counts of discharging a loaded firearm. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Marlon Jeffrey, also known as Melver Jeffrey, called Buck, is asked to contact the nearest police station. We tell you now that the government has churned out $500 million to deal with the aftermath of the Camp Street jail. Minister Ramjatan announced on Friday. Rodin James reports.
Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan and other officials on Friday updated the media on developments in the aftermath of the Camp Street jailbreak and inferno. Admitting that this is a trying time for the government, Minister Ramjatan said that a huge sum of money had to be used from the state's coffers to deal with issues arising from the July 9 incident at the Camp Street jail.
The cost for the removal of the debris over the couple of days that those people were working on it, and the cost of the tarmac area and what will happen at the swamped area, all told, will be in excess of $500 million Guyana dollars.
That will also cover the construction that will take place at Camp Street, the minister explained. The minister said too that already they have seen works moving apace and that the state of affairs in some cases has changed.
At this stage, the tarmac area at Lusignan has been completed, and there have been some minor difficulties and so on, but they have been corrected to the extent that at least 400 prisoners are now there in better conditions than in the swamped area that they were in.
Mr. Ramjitan said that there has been major accomplishments at the Camp Street site too.
The removal of the debris was completed, and we have only this afternoon come up with a plan as to what constructions we are going to make at a temporary level for purposes of ensuring that the prisoners from Lusignan can be transferred to the brick prison so that we can even get better conditions there.
The minister noted that the plans in relation to what they have to construct and the security systems have been designed over the past 3 days. This, he said, had to be fast-tracked. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
That investigation to recover that missing pistol during the Camp Street blaze is still active. Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuels provided an update. Amidst reports that a few prisoners were armed with guns minutes after fire was set to the Camp Street prison on July 9, and that those weapons might have been taken from the prison's armory, Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuel, speaking with reporters on the sidelines of a press conference, maintained that all weapons have been accounted for, some reduced to rubble during the fire.
All those that were put out were accounted for. However, some that were in the strong box, because of the magnitude of the fire, they have been damaged beyond recognition. So that is what is resulting to some issues. But in terms of those weapons being illegally removed from the prison, that is not the case, because the ops room was the last place to go up in flame, and nobody would have had access to the operations room because the area was secured until the last possible moment.
But there is one pistol still unaccounted for, and the director could not confirm if that pistol was destroyed during the blaze.
So what you're saying is that the one missing pistol could probably be one of those disfigured firearms?
That is a possibility, but I'm not confirming that.
The bottom line is that pistol is still unaccounted for, and an investigation to recover that weapon is in progress. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Pickers have found the likes of gold and diamond while digging through garbage at the Hatbosh site, and the number of pickers is increasing. Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Dawn Hastings Williams, has expressed concerns about health and well-being of those persons. More from Jevon Vickery.
Picking, as it is commonly referred to, has become a multi-million-dollar business worldwide. Right here in Guyana, there are currently 64 Guyanese who make a living by digging through garbage every day in search of valuable items. The local pickers are employed through the Ministry of Communities, but they work to pay themselves. They are provided with this facility within the Hagsbosh landfill to sort out their findings. Wendella Marks has been picking for the past 12 years. She told the Nightly News that while she is a recycler, her search through waste does not limit her to only collecting and recycling bottles.
Yes, I pick out the bottles, the copper, the aluminum, the brass, and as you can see, I work on some iron right now. And we work along with some rags where people is used for wipe vehicles. Like mechanic companies is buy them. They use it and wipe vehicles and so, and wipe hands. That's my job and I love it.
Zami Norton, a father of 3, has been in the picking business for more than 10 years, extracting metal from disposed waste and selling them back to buyers who in return recycle them.
I've been working here since this dump site came up here. But I was on the dump site before it came here, since at Mandela. Right? Well, so far so great. I'm on this dump 14 years already. If it didn't work enough for me, I want to be here.
Meanwhile, Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Dawn Hastings-Williams, raised concerns about the health and wellness of pickers operating among hundreds of tons of solid waste. Puran Brothers Waste Disposal Services Site Manager Lloyd Staton says those issues are addressed.
Because I interviewed one of them, a young man, and he said, he just enjoys doing the work. He enjoys work a bit because it brings in dollars for him. But however, we need to, ensure that their social welfare, their health welfare is properly addressed.
We have an on-site medical facility. We have trained first aid personnel on site. And if it's something that we can't handle on site, then we have direct access to the health center in Agricola. As a matter of fact, we do monthly, what's the word? Health evaluations. Not inspections. Evaluation, sorry. We do monthly evaluation of every worker and pick on site.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Javon. The coalition government has been working in overdrive to fight corruption. That's according to Minister of State Joseph Harmon. Rodin James is on this story.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon announced on Thursday that several measures have been implemented to reduce corruption and the perception of corruption, which he said still exists since the removal of the PPP regime. Addressing his weekly post-cabinet media briefing, Mr. Harmon said the government tries to make public the facts with the intention of rebutting the perception and eliminating the gap between perception and reality.
And depending on where you stand, your perception becomes your reality. But as far as we are concerned, we're doing our best to ensure that our processes are clean, that there's transparency in what we do, and that wherever corruption is found, that action is taken against it.
Mr. Harmon said Guyana continues to improve its standing on the Corruption Perception Index.
We have actually done so much in this administration to move us up the ladder that I can say to you that if there's a perception, then it was there before. And we are now trying our best to work our way out of it. Under the previous administration, our ranking was far much lower.
Harmon said for the first time in a year, a half-year report was presented to the National Assembly on the state of the economy, and this trend is expected to continue.
But from where we are, the people who are here in this country, I'm sure that the majority, if not all, believe that we are doing a good job in this, as far as making this country a better place and a more accountable place for all Guyanese.
The early presentation of the national budgets and the conducting of financial inquiries are also being done to ensure that any corrupt practices or perception of them can be corrected, Harmon stressed. Rodin James, HGP Nightly News.
Leader of the opposition Barrett Jack Deal is of the firm belief that the coalition government cannot lead any technical negotiations with oil giant ExxonMobil, and therefore the government is bound to be outfoxed by the company. The government does not see things that way. Rodin James reports.
Mr. Jack Deal said he knows personally lots of persons from the People's National Congress, PNC, who are brilliant enough to lead top negotiations with oil company ExxonMobil, but those persons are not given the chance to do so. He said he does not have confidence in the operatives in government to lead the technical negotiations with ExxonMobil. Jack Deal noted that when dealing with companies such as ExxonMobil, cutting-edge skill is needed.
That bunch cannot lead us. Yet they bristle when you talk about buying in the best technical skills, etc. But your counterpart in the negotiation will, as most companies do, try to get the best deal for themselves.
Minister Harmon responded.
And I want to assure the Guyanese people that their government is doing what is best in their interest, that we will look at best practices around the world and apply it to our own local conditions.
Mr. Jagdi believes that the government will lose big time when it comes to negotiations with Exxon.
My fear is they'll be hopelessly outmaneuvered. Not because ExxonMobil is a monster, but because ExxonMobil will look out for ExxonMobil.
Jagdeo wants the government to start hiring competent people.
And my point is that they don't have the technical skills. I don't see any attempt to acquire it. I don't see the transparency being pursued.
Mr. Jagdeo was always a superman, you know. He could do everything. But this administration, we are taking our time. We're trying to get things right.
Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. Phase 2 of the Hackbosch Landfill project will start in September, and stakeholders were given a first-hand look at the situation at the site. Concerns were raised by policymakers. Here's Javon Vickery.
This is the first cell of the Hackbosch landfill, which is estimated to be 1 year away from being filled, and policymakers are unprepared to await an overflowing cell to commence work on a second cell to facilitate the expanded garbage disposal situation. In 2013, this sanitary landfill, which was initially designed to facilitate 6,000 tons of solid waste per month, was processing in excess of 10,000 tons per month while its construction was still in progress. Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Dawn Hastings-Williams, who was a part of a team that toured the facility on Friday, explained that Phase 2 will include sensitization on proper preparation and disposal of garbage as against the traditional disposable methods.
We'll have to come up with 2 separate trucks, one to collect the organic waste and another to follow, or we may have to come up with a system whereby we collect these scrap materials that are not organic maybe twice a week or twice a month, but we have to find and put systems in place.
Minister Hastings-Williams further disclosed that with an increasing amount of waste being disposed at the landfill, Phase 2 will cater for the expansion of the project.
I'll be happy even if it's before the year end, we can start on something. I was able also to observe the cell that we have, the existing cell. And to my knowledge, to my common knowledge, we should start working on cell number 2. We should not wait until that is filled and then, start working on cell number 2.
Meanwhile, Puran Brothers Waste Disposal Services Site Manager Lloyd Staton explained that Phase 2 will also address the issue of combustion, which regularly occurs. He noted, though, that when operating a landfill, there is always the expectation of fires.
We have successfully completed that. The phase would have included clearing all unwanted garbage from around the site, getting it to cell 1, compacting it and covering it. If you would have observed when you went at the back, the only open area is the active phase that the bulldozers are working on. The rest of the pile is compacted and covered. So we would have successfully completed Phase 1, which is scheduled to end sometime September. And in Phase 2, we'll see the reinstatement of the roads, the buildings, and we hope to reinstate. What we used to do is education for the pickers and the staff.
In July 2016, Puran Brothers had inked a $221 billion contract to operate the Hackbosch landfill. The government had discontinued their contract with BK International back in 2015. Javon Vickery, 8GP Nightly News.
Your sportscast is ahead.
I'm Calvin Chapman with the HGP Sportscast. Good evening. In the Powerade Rainforest Water Malta Supreme Gobble Tournament, Colts and Ravens win on night 8 at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. Details to follow in this story. A tireless performance from Jonathan Mangra led the Bounty Colts to victory over Pepsi Sonics in the first of 2 matches played on Thursday, night 8 of the Georgetown Amateur Basketball Association in collaboration with Banks IH First, Second, and Under-23 Division Leagues. Mangra, who played on Wednesday night in the Colts Under-23 win against Pleasant's Guardians, returned on Thursday to top score with 19 points in Second Division action. Colts, the defending champions in the Second Division League, won that game 99-40 against Sonics. Colts, led by Mangra, got off to a flyer, leading the first quarter 23-6 and the half by a huge 52-16 scorecard. Supporting Mangro in the 59-point blowout were Kwesi Lindo, 15 points, and Timothy Thompson, 14 points, along with Evans Johnson and Denzel Phillips, who both scored 12 points each. Terrence Andin, 12 points, and Shaquan Gill, 10 points, were the top performers for the losers, Pepsi Sonics. Game 2 was the first division match in which Ravens added to the woes of Pace Setters Basketball Club that lost the Eagles on Wednesday in the Under-23 division by inflicting a 69-66 loss on the yellow-outfitted Pace Setters unit. The game was more competitive than the first match of the night, in which Colts blew out Sonics. The lead continuously went back and forth between Ravens and Pace Setters. Ravens led the first quarter 14-15 and Pace Setters took the mantle in the second quarter 32-30 and the third quarter 52-51. But in the final period of play, Ravens outscored Pace Setters 18-14 to edge a 3-point 69-66 victory. Ryan Sefney, 16 points, was the main scorer for Ravens. He was ably supported by Dominic Vincent, 14 points, Owen Walton, 11, and Ryan Gullin, 10 points. Main men for the losers, Pace Setters, were Stephon Gillis, 16 points, Nathan Saul, 11, and Travis Williams, 10. Tough luck for Pace Setters, who were edged by Eagles the previous night. Matches in the Powerade Rainforest Walter Malta Supreme GABA tournament continues on Saturday at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall with 3 matches beginning at 5:30 p.m. Those games are Eagles versus Colts in the Under-23 division, Nets versus Knights at 7:30 p.m., and Colts versus Sonics at 9:30 p.m., both in the first division. The 2017 Digicel Senior National Squash Championships continued last night at the Georgetown Club courts with quarterfinal matches in the men's and women's open. First round the men's plate matches and round-robin matches in the men's veterans categories. With the exception of one of the top men's seeds, all other seeded players have reached the semifinals of the 2 main draws. Former national champion Nyron Joseph was a player who created a mini upset as Jason Ray Khalil was the higher seeded of the 2 players in their quarterfinal match. This match produced long rallies and breathtaking retrieves as both players displayed their amazing talents. Jason Ray won the first game 11-9 and then won the second game 11-7, with Jason Ray leading 10-7. Match ball in the third, it seemed all over for Nyron, but he clawed his way back to 10-all and finally won the third game 13-11. Nyron then won the fourth game 11-7 and secured a hard-fought victory with his 11-6 win in the fifth game. Defending champion Alex Arjun displayed a high level of squash when he defeated Nicolette Fernandez in straight games 11-5, 11-9, 11-1, while Christian Jeffrey proved too good for Shamari Wilshire as he defeated him 11-7, 11-4, 11-6. Number 2 seed Richard Chin showed that he will be no easy pushover in the semifinals with his 11-6, 11-4, 11-2 win against John Claude Jeffrey. In the Women's Open, all 4 of the top seeds progressed easily into the semifinals. Top-seeded Nicolette Fernandez defeated Makeda Hardin 11-1, 11-5, 11-1, while defending champion Ashley Khalil beat Sarah Lewis 11-3, 11-3, 11-2. Former national champion Mary Fongafat was too good for Rebecca Lowe, while Taylor Fernandez defeated Victoria Arjun. In the men's plate, Nicholas Narain had to come from 2 sets down to defeat Reagan Pollard, while Ben McDeesey dropped a game before defeating Peter Michael de Groot. In the men's veterans 35-49, Alan Downs defeated Robin Lowe, and Khalil Ali beat Mehdi Ramdani. In the men's veterans over 50, Joe McDeesey beat David Fernandez. Play continues today with semifinal matches in the men's and women's open. Men's played second round matches and continued round-robin play in the men's veteran categories. The final matches in all of the categories will start tomorrow, Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Another sponsor has lent its support towards the Guyana Amazon Warriors in this year's Hero Caribbean Premier League. Neil and Massey through their Cricks brand, but they are not only extending their olive branch to the Amazon Warriors team, but to fans of the game of cricket, in which they can win prizes to enjoy this year's CPL. Marketing Supervisor Elisa Howard shared more on this.
That we have in order to enter to get tickets to any of the games. We have 3 options in which you can enter: purchase 2 packs of Cricks, or 4 packs of mini Cricks, or a pack of Cricks and 2 packs of mini Cricks. of which you would fill out a coupon, which you would uplift from the cashier, and you drop it within the Crick's entry boxes.
The Guyana Amazon Warriors has opened its official ticket office today in front of all other venues, a month before the start of the Guyana leg of the Caribbean Premier League. Here are some details from Stanford Howard.
Tickets are now on sale at the Guyana Amazon Warrior ticket office at 248 Camp on Quanama Street, formerly known as TVG Building. And patrons are already flocking the site to secure their tickets to this year 2017 Caribbean Premier League, CPL.
We have started ticket sales way ahead of all the other venues, whereas the other venues target 2 weeks prior to the start of their first game. We wanted to go a month before, so we give all our fans the opportunity, all the Guyana public the opportunity to get their tickets early. You know, we always have Caribbean culture is that everybody waits last minute.
According to Mr. Omar Khan, Guyana Amazon Warriors manager, in addition to early sale of tickets, patrons has a choice of seating.
Come out early, get your tickets. You know, the ticket system is working properly. Your tickets have been printed. You could select which seats you want in the greens. We are the only stadium in the entire Caribbean that has numbered seating. So that has a system in place so that when you come and purchase your ticket, you could get a seat number and you have an assigned seat.
Guyana is to be the only country with this system in place, and persons who are interested in parking at the stadium, the cost for that is?
Vehicle parking, it's $1,500 for the tarmac, which means within the stadium itself, and $500 for the space between the Princess Hotel and the stadium.
For HGP Sports, I'm Stanford Howard.
And with that, we conclude the HGP Sportscast. It's now back to you, Travis.
Accused was released. Licensed gun was never lodged. COI into alleged assassination plot hears. 500 million spent in aftermath of jailbreak. It's trying times we're passing through, says Minister Ramjatan. And government ups fight against corruption. Guyanese believe the country is doing better, asserts Minister Harmon. Those were our major headlines. For these stories and more, you can go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. Your weekend review comes up Saturday and Sunday. I'm Travis Chase. Do have a blessed weekend. I'll see you right back here on Monday.